Hi, everyone. This is Jessica Garcia with Brainstorming Women. Happy to bring you Nicole Quallen with Two Families Divorce and Law. And we are here to talk to you today about the four legal paths to divorce, those being a negotiated separation agreement, mediation, collaborative divorce, and court. And Nicole's going to share with you some highlights on each one.
Yeah, thanks, Jessica.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the four paths of divorce. I am a divorce lawyer and mediator in Durham, North Carolina, and these are the paths that I take my clients down when they're divorcing. And let's just start by saying the end goal of this path is to settle your marital issues. That's going to be dividing assets and debts. Where do those go? Dividing cash flow, or their child support or alimony payments going from one spouse to another, and then most importantly, dividing the care and custody of your children if you had children during your marriage.
I like how you framed that, by the way. That's so true.
Yeah, right. It's hard to get
Ultimately.
around, and there's a lot of legal terms for it, but that's ultimately what you're doing. These are the things to decide, and the most traditional path is you can decide them in court, but then there are three other paths to get to those decisions.
And if I could add, I am surprised how many people think court is the only option. So thank you for bringing this information to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you hear that from your clients a lot, and I do too. And in North Carolina, anyway, divorce law is state specific, and in North Carolina, thank goodness, you have the opportunity to decide all of these issues without ever stepping foot in a courtroom. So let's talk about the first path.
Yeah.
So the first path, I call it a negotiated separation agreement. And this is where you're deciding those questions of your divorce through negotiations. You can do this with a lawyer for you, a lawyer for your spouse, or both. Or you can really do it mostly yourself through conversations. We call them kitchen table conversations with your spouse at home, and then have an attorney. You always want to have an attorney draft this for you to make sure it meets all the requirements of the law. So this is sort of your most basic. These are the clients who call up and say, okay, my husband and I are splitting. We don't want to be married anymore, but we agree on how we want our children to live. We agree on finances. Guide me through how to write this up. So this can be often low cost if you have not a lot of negotiation needed. The cost can go up if you need more help in going back and forth.
Yeah.
This can be it can be a low or high degree of interaction with your spouse, depending on how many conversations you need to have, how much you agree or not. And it is definitely the one that has the possibility of being the quickest. Because if you truly agree, you can do this pretty quickly.
Okay, awesome. And then, so in terms of cost, high degree of interaction, we covered that, and the quickest, okay?
Yeah.
And so the next one is mediation.
Yeah, mediation. So I have a soft spot for mediation.
Yes.
I serve sometimes.
Dear to your heart.
That's very. Yeah, I really like it. So sometimes I serve as a mediator. So a mediation, as opposed to negotiation, is a supported conversation environment. So let's say you and your spouse are divorcing. You agree on some of the terms. You don't agree on others. You're really getting stuck on certain issues. You're fighting about custody, let's say. You can hire a mediator and attend sessions of mediation where someone who's trained in conflict resolution and communication can help you get through those sticking points. So they're not going to be making decisions for you. They're not going to be advising you on what you should or should not do, but they're going to help you when you're stuck and
sort
you
of navigate.
Exactly. Help you to express what you need, help you talk and listen with empathy, things like that. So that's a great path. It's a little bit more support than a negotiation in a sort of an emotional communication support. It can also be similarly high or low cost. Definitely a high degree of interaction with your spouse because you're doing that in the same room as your spouse.
Okay. And then the next one's collaborative divorce. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I feel it focuses on the children. I think that it's that's just a component of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Collaborative divorce is beautiful. I told Jessica, I sometimes tell my clients this is sort of the gold standard of a supported out-of-court divorce. So in a collaborative divorce, you begin by signing a pledge. You and your spouse sign a pledge that you are going to do everything you can to participate in the collaborative process and to avoid going to court. You're not going to surprise file a lawsuit. You're really invested in the out of court process. And then you begin having these sessions where you're meeting in a room with 4 or 5 people. Yourself, your attorney who's trained in collaborative divorce, your spouse, their attorney who's trained in collaborative divorce. And then often a CDFA, a certified divorce financial analyst, or often a child psychologist or some sort of child behavior specialist to help you with custody. And so you're going to meet in multiple sessions, everyone together in a really supported environment where you have legal support of your attorneys. So they're going to be advising you on the law, creative legal structures. And then you're also going to often have this third party to advise you on finances. How do we value our business? How do we manage these funky retirement accounts? What about our investments? How does that look? So this is a great thing to do. There are some wonderful collaborative divorce attorneys in the area. Jessica did a video with Carrie Burley, who's awesome. You can find that on her YouTube. So I think this divorce is great for people who have a decent budget for their divorce, because it's going to be probably higher cost than a separation agreement or mediation. If you've got complicated financial issues or complicated, child with special needs, this can be the great environment to talk about that and get to a really special solution. And like you said, it's great for the kids and it's great for co-parenting, because you're going to leave with an agreement that you worked through, not just something that a judge handed to you.
Awesome. And then we have our last one, which is court.
Court, right. So you can already tell I'm not a huge fan of court, but court is the traditional divorce that you see on TV and you hear about. You and your spouse, you prepare for a trial. You go to court. You each give your story. You say, this is what happened in our marriage. This is the kind of money I need. This is what I think is best for our children. Your spouse tells their side, and then a judge who's never met your children gives you the verdict.
Which is the least amount of control.
It's always going to be the least amount of control, because you just don't know what they're going to do or say on any given day. And it really does feel like something that was handed to you. So I advise people to really avoid court if you can. And also, most importantly, it is almost always going to be your highest cost. You have huge fees to prepare for a trial, and then huge fees to execute it. So if you can, we want to avoid court, but if you have a situation where you really just can't communicate with your spouse at all, it is a place to end up.
All right.
So those are our 4 paths to divorce.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again soon.
Thanks.